Long ball number 2, moving over to the other international competition happening in the United States. Inter Miami, the only Major League Soccer side progressing to the Club World Cup knockouts. A slow motion Luis Suarez kind of saved the day for Miami against Palmeiras on Monday night. And that sets up a PSG versus Inter Miami, a Messi derby. I think it's being billed Sunday at noon.
Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? I guess. Look, if we're gonna go with pro wrestling themes, I guess this is like the revenge match on some level. Yeah, Lionel Messi did not enjoy his time in Paris, and he intends to take it out on PSG. No, I mean, I think what I'm afraid of is that this is going to be very ugly. Not like a little ugly, not like 3-0, but I'm talking 5 or 6. And there's a chance that Miami gets a goal or two. I think there's a possibility of that. But you could argue that PSG looked their best when they turned it on against the best competition that they faced in this tournament, Atletico Madrid, in that first game. And they won 4-0, going away over another Champions League caliber team. And here they are up against an MLS team that is notable for two things. One is Lionel Messi, and the other one is not playing defense, not defending very well, Rob. So you're talking about the champions who put a number on Inter Milan in a Champions League final. What are they capable of in a Club World Cup match against Inter Miami?
I think Inter Miami's best defender might be the midday heat.
That might be true. That might. I mean,
if they're at full flow, if PSG are at full flow, like to your point, have dismantled some of Europe's best. If they are in full energy, full pressing mode, it could be ugly for Inter Miami against the European champions, arguably the best club side in the world. Just a kind of a note for the Fallen, who kind of covered themselves in a little bit better glory, Seattle or LAFC there?
I think Seattle should feel better about their tournament than LAFC. You know, I know LAFC finished out with a draw, but they were already dead in the water. Like, that was nothing against Flamengo. It didn't matter. That game didn't matter. They missed their chance by not being able to beat Esperance.
Yeah,
they had to beat Esperance, and they didn't. And whereas you look at Seattle and you consider the teams that they played, and look, if Botafogo had done nothing in the tournament and Seattle had lost to Botafogo, you would say, oh, well, you know, that's pretty disappointing. They could have beaten Botafogo and maybe given themselves a chance, or at least had something to take out of the tournament in terms of points. But Botafogo advanced. Botafogo moves on to the knockout phase at the expense of Atletico Madrid. So again, you're looking at PSG, the European champions, going away. Atletico Madrid, who made the quarterfinals of that tournament this year, and obviously a challenger for a La Liga title almost every season. And Botafogo, who is a reigning Brazilian champion. I know they were stripped for parts on some level, but a reigning Brazilian champion who beat PSG 1-0, beat the reigning European champions. So for Seattle to be 0 points looks terrible, but then you consider the context. They lose 2-1 to Botafogo. They lose 3-1 to Atletico Madrid. They lose 2-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. It could have been much worse. Like, it could have been like if it was their goal difference was like -10, then we'd be saying, oh, what a disaster. They look terrible. But I think they acquitted themselves relatively well.
Yeah, I think I saw a local reporter in Seattle kind of frame it as Seattle Sounders weren't outperformed, they were just outclassed. And so they were in all of the games, but they just didn't have that notch of quality to take it up a notch to really challenge, but not embarrassed in any way. And you got to feel for Bouanga, arguably one of the best players in Major League Soccer, missing a very important penalty kick